What's up everyone, Jason here from PyQuant News back with another video. Today I'm going to let you in on a little secret, and that secret is what the best investors and traders think about. I'll give you a spoiler alert, it's all about risk. And today we're going to use Python to establish some of the basics of risk and how to manage portfolio risk, or at least measure it with Python. But before we get there, I want to introduce something to you that I'm really excited about, and it's a new course. And this course is going to help you start using Python. The idea here is it's the foundational set of Python libraries that you need to know to use Python for finance. It really goes through the Python quant stack, which includes the Python language, setting it up, installing it error-free, using the package managers, numerical computing and statistics, which includes NumPy, SciPy, stats models, and scikit-learn, acquiring market data and manipulating with the OpenBB platform and Pandas, getting into pricing and optimization with QuantLib and RiskFolio. This is the quant stack. These are the most important libraries that you can have for Python. It's going to be straightforward, hype-free training. It's just packed with content, get you up and running with very practical examples. Python that works the first time. This has been battle tested with more than 1,300 students in my other course. You will be able to get this up and running without an error. And then finally, you'll get loads of Python code that you can follow along with and make your own. We have many sections: orientation, the actual Python tools that you use to write Python, setting it all up, writing the code, using Pandas for data manipulation, and we've got 3 incredible bonuses. The first is Python libraries for numerical computing. This is data acquisition. This is pricing and optimization. So the course launches the 17th of December. You can go up to the top here and enter your email address. No spam, no nothing. It's 1 email per week until the 17th, giving you an inside look at what's in the course, including the price, which is actually very affordable. You join the wait list and you will get a 50% discount and an exclusive personalized support package. So very excited about this, but I want to get into the code, so let's go there now. Okay, so essentially what we're doing today is setting up the Python code that you need to calculate portfolio variance. And variance is, standard deviation and variance are ways to measure the dispersion of a time series around its mean. And for risk managers, portfolio standard deviation, portfolio variance, portfolio volatility is extremely important to know because of liquidation requirements and rebalancing and all the various things that portfolio managers need to know. It's important for us because we want to know how risky our assets are. So we'll do this in a couple lines of code. First off, we're going to import NumPy, speaking of NumPy, yfinance for data, and then we'll just ignore warnings. Let's get some historical stock price data, 1 line of code. This is for a group of stocks that I looked up the other day. You can see now we have this really beautiful Pandas data frame full of market prices, okay? Now to convert market prices to returns, we simply do the percent change. So we take the adjusted close, we compute the percent change, and then we drop any values that are, any rows that have NAs. And again, another extremely well-shaped Pandas data frame, date time index, and our daily returns in the columns for each of the stocks. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is actually compute the expected returns. And in practice, what we do is we just use the historical returns. While theoretically this is not correct, you can't really estimate forward returns without some sophisticated modeling, which we're not exactly going to do today. The next thing we need to do is actually compute the covariance matrix. And the covariance matrix describes how each asset varies around each other. So, you look at this thing and it's just a NumPy array and it has 5 rows and 5 columns for the 5 assets in our portfolio. So I'm demonstrating here how simple it is to do these things in these calculations in NumPy, which is of course part of the Python quant stack. And np.mean gives us the returns, and np.cov gives us the covariance. Simple. Okay, let's now compute the weights of our portfolio. So we're going to assume a fairly simple weighted portfolio with equal weights of 20% each. And let's figure out the variance. So NumPy is great for matrix math. And we're going to take the dot multiplication of the covariance matrix, the element-wise multiplication of each element in the covariance matrix by the weights, take that result and multiply it by the transpose of the weights, and we end up with the portfolio level variance. So this is the overall portfolio variance, which measures how each of the assets come together and vary in the same group of stocks. Finally, we will measure the portfolio standard deviation, which takes the square root of the variance and multiplies it by the square root of 252, which then annualizes it, and we end up with a 25% portfolio standard deviation. Now, as far as next steps go, you can take this in any number of different directions. The most obvious one is to obviously update this list of assets with whatever you have in your portfolio, and then update it with whatever weights that you have. The other common thing that most people are doing is rebalancing their portfolio over a period of time. So you can also create a set of portfolio rebalances and create a rolling standard deviation, which is actually a bit more realistic in how we do it in practice. So I hope that was useful for you. This is the very first step, very beginner level stuff, but showing the power of the Python quant stack, showing how easy it is to download data, how to manipulate this data with Pandas and with NumPy and with the Y-Finance library. And with just a couple lines of code, we are able to compute the standard deviation of our portfolio. Take care, and I'll see you next time.